Is your MacBook covered with fingerprints, oil, and grease? And when you try to wipe it down, you accidentally hit one of the keys? Well, no longer, because with Fuzzy, you can confidently clean your keyboard without worrying about triggering any unwanted actions on your Mac. Whether you're wiping away dust, crumbs, or spills, Fuzzy ensures that your cleaning efforts remain focused and effective. No longer will you have to worry about the risk of inadvertently activating your Mac or disrupting your workflow with unwanted keystrokes. Fuzzy eliminates these concerns by providing a simple yet powerful solution to lock your keyboard securely. This is a fully free application. It has been vetted by Apple and is available right now on the Apple Store. It's lightweight, fast, and responsive. Go get your copy now. So I wanted to start out this video by saying that I'm just blown away with the performance of the MacBook Air M3. I didn't really expect it to be a machine that I could use for everything, but that is exactly what it has become. I use it for programming, I use it for video editing, I use it for everything, and it's always up to the task. So the video that you're watching right now was edited on a MacBook Air in Final Cut Pro. It's 4K footage, multi-layered, color grading, color editing, many transitions and effects, and it doesn't stutter once. It's insane. Now, of course, if you have a MacBook Pro, you get a computer with fans, you get a computer that sustains better thermals throughout your video editing or your software development or your virtualization or whatever heavy demanding task you're doing. But I will say that it's not as necessary as you may think it is. With Apple Silicon, we're at the point where we can kind of just use whatever form factor we like, because for 98% of the people, the M3 base chips, not even the Pro, they're sufficient. Now, this MacBook Air is the upgraded version. It is the 16 gigabytes of RAM with 512 gigabytes of storage. So it's not the 8 gigabyte, it's not the base model, but still, I can use this for everything, and I'm really happy with it. Now, the MacBook Pro does have a nicer screen. Bezels are a little thinner. You get the Pro Motion, so you get that 120 hertz smooth refresh rate, as well as you also get a higher resolution, I believe, and better color accuracy. But listen, all of that stuff, while super nice, it tends to mean a lot more on paper from my perspective, because with both of these machines here in front of me, when I look at each screen, they're both stunning. They're both remarkable. And if you're looking at it one-on-one and you're not making side-by-side comparisons, which you won't be doing day-to-day use, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference. You really would. Other than the 60 hertz. That is a bit of a bummer, but again, you use it long enough, you just kind of forget about it. Plus, I have an Apple Studio display that I do a lot of work from, and that's also 60 hertz, so it's really not that big of a deal. Both keyboards feel great as well. I do tend to lean towards the MacBook Pro. It's a little bit softer. It feels like there's a little bit more travel distance. I'm not sure about that, but I like the way it feels. However, both keyboards are some of the best keyboards you'll ever use on a laptop, so it's a win-win. You can't really go wrong either way. Aesthetically, the MacBook Pro keyboard does look better with that black casing, but again, not a big deal. And speaking of colors, I really do like both of these colors. I actually prefer the Midnight more. It just has a little bit more flair as opposed to just being a black laptop. When you catch it in the light, it gives you that hint of blue, and it's really stunning. But the Space Black is really sleek too. I can't complain about either colors, and I do tend to gravitate towards the darker colors. I think a lot of us do. One, because they're just newer, it's a little bit sexier, and also when you're using it in dark mode, it's just a lot less distracting, and it just feels like a more coherent design, if that makes sense. Now, this MacBook Pro has the M3 Pro with 11-core CPU, 14-core GPU, and because of that power, it's for sure going to have a longer shelf life. You know, it's going to be more future-proof than the MacBook Air, but I typically don't keep MacBooks for a super long period of time. For me, that's not a big deal, but if you were looking to keep this MacBook for 5, 6, 7 years, it would make sense to go with the MacBook Pro, I think, though, again, with the performance of both of these machines, they're both going to be fine for years to come. The Midnight does tend to show fingerprints a lot more than the Space Black, which is weird because I believe they both have the same anodization process, but that's just the case. Maybe it's because the blue is a little bit lighter, so fingerprints are more visible. Either way, I use an Apple polishing cloth, clean them off, and it solves the problem, so not really a big deal. I did do some heavy video editing and multitasking with the MacBook Pro. I could not get the fans to turn on. I could not make it audible at all, and of course, with the MacBook Air, there is no fan, so you really can't hear anything there either. I really do like the MacBook Pro's design and build. It feels super premium. Both feel like very premium laptops, but the MacBook Pro, because it's a little heavier and because it's a little chunkier, it does just have this like solid build, this premium feel that maybe it's more of a psychology thing, but it feels very premium, more so than the MacBook Air. But here's where things get kind of interesting. For me personally, I've never really cared about portability in a laptop, especially when you're comparing two MacBooks, like, 13 versus 15 or 14 versus 16, like who cares? It's a laptop. You can take it wherever you want to go. It's not that heavy. But the MacBook Air is so thin and so portable that I don't really want to use anything else. I know it's a bit crazy, but I'm using the MacBook Air and it's just phenomenal. It's so portable and so convenient that's actually you want to take it places because of how sleek it is. And the MacBook Pro 14-inch, I like it. It's great, but it's chunky. It's heavy. And I noticed that same thing with my 14-inch M1 Pro that I used for almost 2 years. I'm like, this thing is super heavy. I love it. But man, the MacBook Airs are so sleek and so powerful that I'm inclined to recommend them for most people. I really am. Now, again, can't go wrong with either. And the MacBook Pro will hold up better over time, but yeah, the MacBook Air is just tough to beat. It is a great package. So that's been my experience / some things to consider if you're in the market for a MacBook. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know what I can do in the future to improve. I'll see you guys in the next one. Today's sponsor is Remotely, a next generation remote access tool. It supports 4K at 60 frames, and it even supports HDR. It's low latency, which makes it great for PC gaming, and it's supported on all recent versions of Windows. It supports session recording and voice chat, and it allows you to mark up web pages. It also has a very active community forum where you can post up your issues and get solutions in the same day. All transmitted data is encrypted using AES 256, so it is extremely secure. There's a strong 14-sign connection ID, which makes it virtually impossible to guess. You also have the option to brand the quick support tool with your company brand and logo, and there's an advanced mobile application that allows you to use your tablet as a terminal. And currently, there's free licensing for both business and personal usage, so you have nothing to lose. I've been using this software now for a couple weeks, and I'm very happy with it, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. Again, big thanks to Remotely for sponsoring this video. Check them out at the link in the description below.